In 2022, the Super Bowl was at SoFi Stadium in Los Angeles, California, and before the game kicked off, The Rock, Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson, he was at midfield right before the game to say, "Are you ready for the Super Bowl?" in only the way that The Rock can. And when I was watching that Super Bowl, I remember telling everybody that was around, saying that 1 year from now, WrestleMania 39 in 2023, The Rock will be standing right where he is now, main eventing WrestleMania 39 at SoFi Stadium against Roman Reigns. After Roman Reigns retained his championship at WrestleMania 37 in Tampa against Edge and Daniel Bryan, it wasn't too long after before the writing was on the wall, and this championship reign from Roman Reigns was something special. Something so special that it sparked the rumors that Rock versus Roman, the greatest WrestleMania match, was going to happen. But when? Well, obviously, as I just mentioned, WrestleMania 39 in Los Angeles, what bigger place? Los Angeles, SoFi Stadium, a $5 billion facility in Los Angeles, California, the home of the Super Bowl in 2022. What could be bigger than Hollywood's biggest star in Hollywood representing the WWE in WrestleMania? The biggest WrestleMania/WWE match of all time. The Royal Rumble happened in 2023, and I was waiting for the build for Rock versus Roman, and that never happened. And when WrestleMania came around, it was Cody Rhodes versus Roman Reigns. But I knew The Rock, he's right around the corner, right? Well, the night ended without The Rock coming out, and the Monday Night Raw after in Los Angeles happened without The Rock coming out again. But I was certain that when this happens, it will happen at WrestleMania. And it will happen at a WrestleMania sooner than later. And as WrestleMania 40 in Philadelphia was on the horizon, I thought maybe SummerSlam is when they start the build for Rock versus Roman, the greatest WrestleMania match of all time. But nope, that did not happen. Roman retained against his blood relative Jey Uso, and the night ended. Well, I thought maybe by Survivor Series, because we all know that when Rock faced Cena, it was a year-long build. So why is this not getting a year-long build? Well, right around the fall, The Rock made a surprise appearance on a SmackDown in Denver, Colorado, which made us all think, finally, this match is going to start the build for WrestleMania 40. But then, it didn't. And Survivor Series came and passed. And then in the beginning of January, The Rock showed up on January 1st episode of Monday Night Raw in a promo with Jinder Mahal in what certainly is finally going to start the program for the greatest WrestleMania match of all time, The Rock versus Roman Reigns. But then it didn't. And then a lot of stuff happened, and it seemed like The Rock in interviews was claiming that he wanted this match to be the biggest WrestleMania match of all time, and so much so that talking about the build for it, it appeared that maybe even this year was off the table, because clearly it is already January when he is saying this, and WrestleMania being in April doesn't give him the build that he is saying that this match deserves, like Rock versus Cena, a 1-year build. So it appears this isn't happening this year, but alas, the Royal Rumble 2024 is on the horizon, and in Tropicana Field in Tampa, Florida, a place where most wrestlers live and inhabit it all the time, finally, something's going to happen. No, The Rock doesn't show up. The Rock is not in the Royal Rumble. Cody Rhodes wins the Royal Rumble for the second straight year, points to the WrestleMania sign, and just a few minutes after the show is off the air, he states in all clarity that at WrestleMania, he's not going after Seth Rollins, he's going after Roman Reigns. Well, that's your main event, folks. Cody Rhodes versus Roman Reigns. And while we are all looking for The Rock and Roman, I'm assured that WrestleMania 41 in, well, we don't know where yet, is going to be main evented Rock, Roman, right? Well, then all this happened. And frankly, now I'm a little confused because the greatest WrestleMania match of all time took a back seat to what is a clear storyline. Finish the story. You've heard this over and over and over again. You've even heard it if you're owning the new WWE 2K video game, which is labeled Finish the Story, with, I think, a Finish the Story edition. Now, I'm not saying that I think The Rock and Roman Reigns should take a back seat to Cody Rhodes. Of course not. But Cody Rhodes announced he was going after Roman Reigns right as soon as the Royal Rumble ended. And now he's backing out, and The Rock, out of nowhere, is coming in for The Rock versus Roman Reigns at WrestleMania 40 in Philadelphia, Pennsylvania. The reason why myself, who thinks that this is a much bigger match than Cody versus Roman Reigns, is upset with every other fan on the planet is not necessarily the match itself, but the bait and switch. Cody Rhodes just won the Royal Rumble. The WWE tells us, the fans, that Rock and Roman isn't happening. And more importantly, Cody Rhodes tells us, the fans, that Rock and Roman isn't happening because he's coming after Roman Reigns. And then, within a week's time, he's not. All of a sudden, the Royal Rumble winner is not going after the main prize, and The Rock shows up and takes his spot, and Cody Rhodes, the winner of the Royal Rumble, the man who in the Royal Rumble press conference said, "I am the man," is backing down to let The Rock take in. That's where people are having an issue with this Rock versus Roman match for WrestleMania. As I've said a million times on our podcast that we record every single week, The Heel to the Face, The Rock and Roman Reigns should be ahead of Roman versus Cody. I said this back in the first week of January. The problem I have with it, though, is that WWE is telling us the opposite and now giving us Rock and Roman. I'm fine with this match happening because the world of professional wrestling, it's all about story and it's all about sizzle, not about steak, right? Well, the problem is they gave us a story and now they're taking it back. Finish the story, exactly. And believe me, in the world of WWE, I think no stories should be finished. But in the case of the Cody Rhodes story, I think it should be finished to the extent that you don't just stop it in the middle of the story. If the story ends with Cody losing, if the story ends with Cody winning, if the story continues after WrestleMania with Cody losing and maybe becoming champion at SummerSlam, that story is continuing. Like all stories in WWE, it's a episodic storytelling program. But for you to just abruptly stop the story, and more importantly now have Cody going after Seth Rollins, a person whom he kind of claimed in the Royal Rumble press conference is the secondary championship. And I understand WWE now at last minute is trying to backtrack on all of that stuff and make Seth versus Cody a more legitimate match, but it doesn't make any sense. And that's where this sucks, because this is the greatest WrestleMania match of all time. Roman versus Rock. Since Roman won the championship, since Roman joined the WWE, this match made sense. And whenever this match was to take place, it made sense. And of course, what made the most sense is WrestleMania. Roman has been champion since late August of 2020. He is still a champion, and no one has been able to defeat him. And The Rock, one of the greatest professional wrestling superstars of all time, is here, and that is a chance for a once-in-a-lifetime match. The problem is, WWE is giving us this match when no one asked for this match. The Rock and John Cena was an amazing once-in-a-lifetime and I guess twice-in-a-lifetime match, and I was excited to see it. What would have made no sense, though, is that if in the build for that match, they decided to have completely opposite people win the Royal Rumble, win the championships, and then all of a sudden take a step back in order to make that match happen. Give it to Cody Rhodes. He's a team player, and clearly, he's going to do what is best for WWE. But I think in this case, as well as many other fans who've started the hashtag #WeWantCody, as well as all the backlash this has received, has shown that this isn't about not wanting Rock versus Roman. Because clearly, I want Rock versus Roman. This is about wanting it in a way that doesn't get The Rock booed the next time he shows up on WWE TV. I want Rock versus Roman. I want Stone Cold versus Daniel Bryan. But I can tell you that if in 2014, during the height of the Yes Movement, when Daniel Bryan was making his way to WrestleMania 30, Stone Cold Steve Austin came out and kind of swerved all of that, and it was Daniel Bryan versus Stone Cold at WrestleMania instead. Yeah, we love Daniel Bryan and we love Stone Cold Steve Austin, but to do it in spite of what we were about to get, that's the issue. That's the problem. And I can understand WWE's perspective in WrestleMania 30 on the build to that, because the Yes Movement didn't really take off too much until after the Royal Rumble, after Batista, who won the Royal Rumble, already won, and then the Yes Movement really took off after that. But Cody versus Roman was taking off not just before the Royal Rumble, but since the Royal Rumble and at the Royal Rumble. And yes, fans were fine in many regular people's perspective. I understand some fans would not be fine, but many fans were fine with Rock and Roman if Rock showed up at the Royal Rumble and organically started that. Why have Cody Rhodes win the Royal Rumble if he is not going to face Roman? Why have him in the press conference state he's going to face Roman if he's not going to face Roman? Storytelling. It's the most important thing in WWE, and this is a pure example, because Rock and Roman, the greatest WrestleMania match, maybe not, in the wrestling world, but in promotion, in presentation, there will not be a bigger spectacle, and WWE knows it. But they're seeing firsthand that everything has to have a reason. Vince McMahon once said it himself, the man who was the czar of WWE for so many decades, that you have to have a reason why these people are facing off more than just them facing off. And this is a clear example of that, because Rock and Roman have the reason why, and they had the reason why, but then WWE gave us a new reason why, only to just change it on SmackDown for no reason when nobody asked, and now it appears we're getting Rock versus Roman at WrestleMania, the greatest WrestleMania match of all time, with all of this backlash. WWE, if I was you, I would clearly backtrack on this one. I would start the build for Rock versus Roman, WrestleMania 41, and put Cody back in the spot for WrestleMania 40. I want to see Rock and Roman. I want to see the biggest spectacle in WWE history, in professional wrestling history, in sports and entertainment history. I want to see it, and I want to see it where Rock is being cheered when he's coming to the ring, not booed because he took someone else's spot. WrestleMania is 2 nights long. There's lots of spots to be had. Rock doesn't need to take someone's spot for this match to happen. And more importantly, this match is clearly going to be better if it was promoted without a championship on the line. Man versus man, nothing on the line but the head of the table. Tell us what you think in the comments below, and on our future editions, clearly on the road to WrestleMania, we're going to talk all things Rock versus Roman and Cody Rhodes. Cody Rhodes got screwed out of this one, and I'm not even a Cody Rhodes fan. I want to see Rock and Roman, but this just doesn't make any sense.